You know, that friend who tells you to just stay positive while you're going through absolute hell. Or the one who says, at least it's not worse, when your world is falling apart. That's not kindness, so that's toxic positivity. Have you ever noticed how these phrases often come at the worst possible times? It's like a reflex to silence discomfort rather than understand it. And here's the uncomfortable truth. It's everywhere. On your Instagram feed, in your workplace, even in your therapy sessions, it sounds good on the surface. But underneath, it's a sneaky form of emotional invalidation that's quietly damaging your mental health. In this video, we're diving deep into the psychology of toxic positivity, what it is, how it's ruining your emotional life, and why sometimes the best thing you can do is stop being positive. Stick around till the end, because we're also going to reveal one dangerous way toxic positivity is being used as a weapon in modern culture. In a world that worships hustle, gratitude journals, and manifesting good vibes only, what happens to real emotions? What if the obsession with good vibes only actually makes us ignore the full spectrum of what it means to be human? We live in a culture that tells us to smile when we're sad, push through when we're burned out, and be grateful even when everything feels like it's falling apart. But constantly forcing positivity, even when you're grieving, angry, or exhausted, doesn't make you resilient. It makes you numb. Psychologists call this phenomenon toxic positivity. It's the belief that we should maintain a happy, optimistic outlook no matter how bad things get. And while optimism can be healthy, pretending everything is fine when it's not, that's emotional suppression, and it comes at a cost. Let's break down exactly how toxic positivity works, the psychological damage it causes, and the subtle signs you might be trapped in it right now. When someone tells you, look on the bright side right after you open up about something painful, what they're really saying is, your feelings make me uncomfortable, please change them. This is more than just annoying advice. It's a form of gaslighting that can make you doubt your own experience. That's emotional gaslighting, minimizing or denying someone's reality. It sends the message that negative emotions are wrong, inappropriate, or even shameful. And here's where it gets worse. When you start policing your own emotions, telling yourself you're overreacting or that your pain doesn't matter, that's when toxic positivity turns inward. It becomes self-gaslighting. Studies show that suppressing emotions activates the same stress responses as actual trauma. When you constantly pretend to be okay, your body goes into fight or flight mode, heart racing, cortisol rising, nervous system on edge. Imagine carrying a weight you can't see. That's what chronic emotional suppression feels like inside your body. People who live in environments of constant toxic positivity, whether it's families that say, we don't talk about sad things, or social circles that only post perfect Instagram moments, often develop high-functioning anxiety. They smile on the outside, but inside, it's chaos. This disconnect between how you feel and how you're expected to feel creates emotional dissonance. Over time, it leads to burnout, depression, or emotional numbness. Ever scroll through your feed and feel like everyone else is thriving while you're struggling to get out of bed? That's not by accident. Social media doesn't just reward positivity, it demands it. The algorithms prioritize cheerful content. Influencers thrive by posting gratitude lists and rise and grind reels, and even mental health spaces can become toxic when they start pushing healing as a product you can buy. Behind every flawless post, there's often a messy, complicated story, but we rarely get to see that. But here's what they don't show you: the panic attacks behind the perfectly filtered sunset, the heartbreak behind the inspirational quote. As clinical psychologist Dr. Jamie Zuckerman puts it, when positivity becomes a mask you wear for likes, you're no longer expressing, you're performing. One of the most harmful effects of toxic positivity is how it affects people in grief. When someone loses a loved one, hears they're in a better place, or at least you had time together, it doesn't comfort them. It isolates them. Grief is not a problem to be fixed with platitudes. It's a process to be witnessed and held. Forcing positivity in moments of loss shuts down that process and can prolong grief by making the person feel alone in their pain. In fact, research published in the journal Emotion found that people who allow themselves to fully feel negative emotions during grief actually recover faster than those who suppress them. Why? Because healing requires honesty. Toxic positivity isn't always innocent. Sometimes it's a sneaky form of control disguised as kindness. Think about this. Have you ever been told to stay positive when you're sharing something serious, like workplace stress, discrimination, or even abuse? It's not just invalidation. It's a way to silence real pain. It's like saying, don't rock the boat, just smile and move on. And here's a question for you. When did positivity become an obligation? And when did it stop being a choice and start feeling like a rule? This is the subtle shift where positivity stops helping and starts harming. Our workplaces often do this. Instead of fixing toxic cultures or addressing burnout, they slap on meditation apps or they tell you to just think happy thoughts. It's like putting a bandage on a broken bone. In relationships, toxic positivity can act like emotional handcuffs. Ever heard, "Why are you so negative all the time?" now from someone who refuses to talk about problems? That's not just frustration. It's a power move to keep you quiet. Positivity in these cases becomes less of a mindset and more like a muzzle. So if toxic positivity is so damaging, what's the alternative? How do we find real emotional freedom? It's called emotional authenticity. And it's as liberating as it sounds. Imagine this. What if you gave yourself permission to fully feel your emotions, even the messy ones like anger, sadness, or disappointment? What if instead of running from those feelings, you let them teach you something? Psychologist Dr. Brené Brown reminds us, we can't selectively numb emotions. When we numb the painful emotions, we also numb the positive ones. Think about that. Can you truly appreciate joy if you're afraid to feel pain? Here's a little known fact. Studies show that people who embrace their negative emotions actually build better resilience than those who ignore or suppress them. Emotional toughness isn't about smiling through the pain, it's about facing it head on. Next time someone tells you to just stay positive and try this instead, say, actually, I need to feel this right now. You might be surprised how empowering that simple statement is.